my number one quarterback in America. That is Cade Klubnik from Clemson. Dalton, I'll be honest with you. I am shocked I have Cade Klubnik this high on this list. If you told me last year Cade Klubnik would be my top returning quarterback in college football, I would have said you're crazy. I wasn't that big of a fan of Cade Klubnik based off the 2023 tape. But he was maybe the most improved quarterback in college football. Him and Jake Retzlaff, of course, as well. He was 102nd in the country in 2023 with a 63.9 passing grade, 5th in the country last year with an 87.7 passing grade. Only Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders had more passing touchdowns than Cade Klubnik last year, and both those guys obviously just got drafted into the NFL. Klubnik was 5th in the country in big-time throws as well with 28. This guy was the number one quarterback coming out of high school in 2022. Was not the best in his first year as a starter in 2023, but I think he was a great example of why do not judge guys immediately after 1 year as a starter in college football, because he really improved down the stretch this past season. I mentioned before, that Texas game. If you want to see why Cade Klubnik could be a top 5 pick in the NFL draft, I know the size is not the best for Cade Klubnik. He shredded that Texas secondary, the best secondary, arguably the best defense in college football. He shredded them in that game with multiple NFL big-time throws in that game. That was a really impressive performance, and honestly, the entire season for Cade Klubnik was really impressive. Again, a shocking guy for me at number one overall, but Cade Klubnik, I just watched his tape back, I look at all the stats, I felt like he had to be number one quarterback.
I mean, the highest graded quarterback returning to college football from last season. You look at the trio of receivers he has in TJ Moore, Bryant Wesco, and Antonio Williams, the chemistry that he built with them as the season went on. And I think the bigger question for me with Clemson, more so than Klubnik, is just can they balance this thing out running the football? Yep. I think that's really the big question. The running game really kind of stalled at the end of last year. But as far as Klubnik goes, you mentioned it, I think 2 words come to mind to me when I watch him are touch and toughness. I think what he added after that Georgia game last year and the downfield accuracy, is one of the best vertical passers in college football. Got a little bit of gunslinger to him, just like Garrett Nussmeier does as well down there at LSU. And we'll see them facing each other in week 1. But I think you just see the arc and the layering that he puts on some of these vertical throws, and it's just terrific. I mean, the ball gets where it needs to be, and there's no chance for the safeties to get the angle on it and recover, right? So I think that's what you have. Still got to get beyond his first read, a little bit of one and run right now, and the other one is toughness. I mean, I think Klubnik, and this is something I don't think we've said enough, highest passing grade in the country under pressure last year.
Yep.
Okay, and I think his ability at times to make those vertical throws with people bearing down on him, Clemson's pass protection kind of came and went depending on their opponent sometimes last year. But Klubnik, look, he's tough. He's a great vertical passer. 36 touchdowns and 6 interceptions says it all. Last year, 28 big-time throws, like you mentioned. He's going to be among the national leaders in big-time throws again this year. He's going to get vertical. To me, it's just about, again, clean up the underneath stuff just a little bit, get to your second, third read, have a little bit more of a plan when you break the pocket. But I think considering what he showed us last year and the year that we're expecting Clemson to have, I think it is a worthy pick for number one right now. I completely understand it, and if nothing else, again, he's the highest graded quarterback returning to college football. That's a good thing to fall back on.
Hey, absolutely. You just mentioned that Texas game before as well. 81.8 passing grade against the Longhorns. He had 5 big-time throws and over 300 passing yards.
And that game was, I forget the exact score, but that game was dead in the water. And he almost actually brought them back. I think he got it to within 7. And
they lost by 14 total, but it was the closest game in the first-round game.
He got it to within 7, and then Jaden Blue took off in the fourth quarter to really put it away. But, I mean, no, he willed them back into that game when they were getting blown out in the first half.
Clemson's run D was the reason why they lost that game. Cade Klubnik was willing that team against again, an elite secondary that Texas had, an elite defense overall. Cade Klubnik was under pressure a lot in the game. Again, remind you guys, watch that game for Cade Klubnik. That is the game to watch because he was fantastic in that game against Texas. But Cade Klubnik, my number one quarterback in college football going to next year. Hey, thanks for watching another episode of the PFF College Football Show. Please make sure you guys subscribe to the channel.
Also, subscribe to PFF Plus at subscribe.pff.com for all of the same data and grades that we use in our show, plus fantasy tools, betting tools, and our mock draft simulator.